I welcome you, our listeners, to KFM Hotseat 99.3 KFM. It's the Friday panel where we discuss major events of the week, stories that made headlines. We have a small panel today. Dismas Nkunda, you're welcome.
Thank you, Jimmy, for hosting us.
Yes, Frank.
Thank you, Jimmy.
How have you been?
I've been well. I've been fine.
Okay.
And everything is okay.
So Frank works in the banking industry, so can you tell us how business...
Time for the banking industry has now ended, and now I'm somewhere else.
As an analyst. So we have the Saturday Monitor that's already out. You can get a copy. The main stories are, in the headline is the fight in the land of milk and honey. So it's a story about rationalization. There have been meetings in State House. Some people defending that the Uganda Coffee Development Authority, Dairy Development Authority, they shouldn't go back to the mother ministry in agriculture and other, it's a whole debate about this rationalization going on. And you can also read about Nigerians dominating the cane price. And we are going to talk more about the proposal by Honorable Lumu of Mityana South regarding the election of the leader of opposition and opposition chief whips. So I think that's been the main story. And sadly, there was a story about Bobi Wine. I think we should begin with that. What do you think the incident in Bulindo, where the president of the NUP party was, some people say was shot, but he was injured. What does this speak about the police handling? He had gone on a private visit to their advisor, their legal advisor, George Busisi in Bulindo. So on his way back, approached by a crowd. I think the police, they were not happy about that. How it was handled, what does it speak about the police handling opposition politicians and political violence in general, and how the story has been panning out? He was taken to Nsambia Hospital. He had to be discharged prematurely, as it says, because there were security people, flocking the hospital. What does this mean? This much. I think from your human rights perspective, I think you
Jimmy, those are so many loaded questions. Was he shot? Why was he in Bulindo? Why was the crowd following him? How did he end up in Nsambia Hospital? How did he be discharged from Nsambia Hospital? It's a plethora of things that are going on. First of all, for me, it's not shooting necessarily doesn't mean the use only of a gun. You can shoot using a bow and arrow. Right?
Yes.
So when the description that was being given by police was the question of saying that this man was shot because there was the use of a gun, I honestly don't think that was shot. He was injured by a shrapnel but then given the number of the crowd of people that were around him, they passed where he was seated, and you could tell the euphoria that the number of border borders that were following him, they passed through Chira, and I was in some place where I was doing some work, and the sheer number of human beings that were following him, even those ones are capable of being able to injure him. So the point is, it's possible one errant police officer can do something stupid and shoot. That one, he has been beaten before. You remember during the Arua incident, he has been beaten that time at Chambogo after the nomination. So it's not something new. The point is, was he bleeding? Yes. What made him bleed? What made him go to hospital? Because it has been turned into a social media circus. That a person, when you are injured, you are supposed to remain in hospital for a long period of time. Not necessarily. It can be a slight injury. And therefore, the medical personnel or even your own personal feeling makes you feel that I shouldn't be in hospital longer. First of all, some of these hospitals are very expensive. He wasn't certainly staying in any ward. It must have been
expensive for him. The hospital, he can afford the...
No, of course he can afford, but if they're charging you, let's say, about 400,000 Uganda shillings per night, would you be very comfortable, spending that money when it's a slight injury and there's no blood that is still flowing on your feet? So the point is, it has just been exaggerated, and the police themselves have shot themselves in the foot. They're saying no. If we had let them show us the cartridge, how many people own guns in this company? So anyway, Sabit is here.
Sabit, you're late. You're from Parliament. I think you've been dealing with this issue, Bobi Wine. I think you should pass the question to what happened. What exactly happened? What from the house? I think you get more information. You have journalists and people. Was it mismanaged? That what took place?
I wish Kituma, it is called Rusoke. Kituma Rusoke was here. Some of these questions are really directly.
Rusoke said we shall investigate. And time goes and people are getting all their information from social media. So the longer you take and you're not coming out with information that, the public is satisfied with, then they'll go on.
My brother, I have no locus to speak for the police, for the investigative agencies, and everything. But for me, even for the law, even for anybody, for me, the point is that our politics has been extremely confrontational for the last 20 or so years. So it's just a continuation of that contest. One side, armed, creation of the law, another side, a creation of the law, unarmed, but each side believing they are right and willing to go to the extreme to achieve what they want. At the bottom of this is that we have a country that is governed by a constitution. That constitution spells out what everybody should do and how they should do it. Now, the beauty or the sad part of the law is that Dismas will interpret it his way, Frank will interpret it his way, Jimmy will interpret it his way. So if you put 7 lawyers in the house to discuss what happened, who broke the law, you'll get about 10 interpretations from the 10 lawyers in the room. For me, what first hit me was that breaking news: Bobi Wine shot, and I think for a second the country came to a standstill. Bobi Wine shot? How? Why? Where? And then the videos came out. Of course, the most interesting thing for me in the video was Eddie Mutwe. The head of security, people were saying, Bafi Kabunyama na waka wambo. That's the point. Then point number 2 is I zoomed in and saw what from my civilian interpretation looked like an injury from a canister, a tear gas canister. So I was like, oh, so he was not actually shot. Right? But the information that had gone out is then came the Kituma Rusoke press statement.
Even a canister can be shot.
I am saying the initial information that went out was that it was a live ammunition.
Yes.
So all of us were expecting fatal injury, which of course would be very unfortunate. You don't wish Bobi Wine that and stuff. Now, when it came to tear gas canister, the next statement was that the fragments have entered his leg. He's going to undergo surgery the next day. And then the pictures from the hospital come with all these wiring and stuff like that. Yes. And then he was supposed to undergo surgery that morning. About 2 hours later, there's a wheelchair being rolled out and is being discharged. Remember, we had been told the fragments are still in the leg, has to undergo surgery and stuff. So for me, I think that there are principles this Masato should agree on. One is that this country is big enough for all of us to coexist politically in whatever way. Number 2, that this country has a constitution that everyone has an obligation to follow, the police and the political actors. But also, this country is in a stage of politics stupid. People are willing to do anything.
I think you should.
So people are willing to do anything to achieve whatever interest they want to achieve. And in the middle of all this, the party has been joined by a crazy media. During your days, I don't know if, as a reporter, you would wear an NRM shirt or a red beret to go and cover a political function.
What would I be doing? Who would allow me? My parent newspaper.
Now you need to go and see the new trend. Remember, you already have the sides in the political equation that are very extreme, very intolerant to each other, and very confused. Then journalists are wearing red berets now to go and cover stories. Others are wearing yellow t-shirts and saying, we are NRM yellow media. The journalists posting and saying, President Bobi Wine has been shot. and then there's a Frank Mujimba who is counting on the media for facts. So the madness of the nation has caught up with all of us.
Is that also journalism stupid? I think that is also journalism stupid.
Frank, what do you think about the whole incident, the coverage? Did we get the public? Is it social media that is getting everything wrong? Are we relying too much? Could the police have done better?
First of all, it is really unfortunate. I might not agree with Bobi Wine in terms of his ideas, but I would not want to sit here and wish whatever happened to him, whether it was a tear gas canister or a bullet, whatever it is. I really wouldn't wish that to really happen to him. So I really felt bad, because if they're saying that it is a tear gas canister that was shot, still this is it is a monopoly of government to own this ammunition. So if that is the case, then I think still government has or police they have a question to answer. But the last I think the last time Noop carried out a procession, should I call it a procession? I think they were going to massacre. About 3 people died, and then consequently even those processions, the regional tours were stopped. So as I really would want to feel sorry for the president of National Unity Platform, I would also want to inform the party or even the president himself that sometimes as he call on people to get onto the streets to try and protest, even Dr. Kano Chisavesje is doing this. So you find that during this time, some people are shot, some people lose their limbs during these protests, and I think that this should concern him. So I'm not saying that it's good it happened to him, but he should know that whatever happened to him, the pain that he went through, this is what
others go through.
This is what other people go through.
So I'll go to Isaac Kayonde. He's a politician. You know,
I hope he's not the one who
yeah, he's from Gomba. So Isaac, you know, as a politician, any small thing that happens to you, you want to milk and get publicity out of it. And you know, so in this case, you also know the international media, how it covered this story, BBC, Al Jazeera. So it shows how popular any small thing you do to a very popular politician is. So what could have been done better? How should politicians behave in political campaigns, or even just crowds? When you go to Gomba and people all of a sudden come to approach. How should a politician walk away?
I follow police procedure. When they tell me no, I say no. Despite that, people want me, Anyway, looking at it really, for me, the way it was reported, the actors and everything, it just showed me the moral bankruptcy we have in our country. That not a single side could stand by their morals of truth. That you see, you have a government spokesperson who comes and says, the man stumbled and everything. At least if you didn't have the videos, at least have the decency to say, no, our investigations have come out, and it was a tear gas canister, and but for you to continue saying, no, you know what, it was his fault and everything is really disingenuous to so many people. Then you have the opposition. Really, they really milked it. And for me, yes, you might assume that the optics to milk it in terms of political clout or whatever wins you bonus, but it also breaks some of your faithfuls who say that, look, okay, we have seen the truth, please be truthful to the extent of saying, you know what,
this one.
yes, but for you to come out, they are targeting me, they want to kill me, is not necessary, in the sense that everybody saw the videos of what happened.
What was posted on Bobi Wine's X, former Twitter, was that there's been an attempt on my life. So the way you interpret it, given all the videos circulating,
Definitely not. And for me, one of the things that I've seen over time, especially in Museveni's regime, is that if you want total and absolute protection, become a leading opposition leader. That they will do so many things, but your life will be of utmost importance to them.
Except the one of Kizza Besigye.
No, what I'm saying. No. What I'm saying.
No, but this was is that in another person's shoes, Kizza Besigye would not be alive today.
You see, I'll give you an example.
No, I'm saying the near killing him.
But other
in one area, no, the man broke a glass.
I was next to the car.
My thing is this.
I mean, his brother Musasi is.
As I conclude,
you'll make your pitch after the break and conclude after.
The hottest debate on all relevant topics.
I only know it in passing.
Welcome back from the break. You're listening to Dismas.
It's a good day to welcome Dismas back from Rwanda. This is
You should be sympathizing. I've been not well.
Sorry.
Dismas, it's good that you're back. Thank you.
It's good to have him
Welcome back from the break. Isaac Kayonde, you will make your conclusion.
My final, as I was concluding, I was saying, look, that the state looks at Bobi Wine looks at him probably as a treasure or an asset. That his life right now, if anything happens, is likely to cause unrest throughout the country. So they take, I think, extra caution in the sense that they watch his movements, they have intelligence, they know where he's going, they know what he's doing. I think sometimes police gets a bit high-handed when it decides to get involved in stopping him from moving different places, which if they left him, he would, people would probably wave and he would go. And so I think for me, overzealous police is a big problem. My appeal is that we are going into election season, the silly season. I just pray that there is no space for violence in our elections from both sides. Really, I have seen a very, very enthusiastic, young lads who really we will do anything at any cost, to prop up their political ambitions. Yeah.
So the violence is from the opposition?
Everybody. The police.
Jimmy, you see, Isaac Kayonde is one of the few sober people in a nation that has been caught up by madness. So we're going, like I said, we're going into the silly season where reason, restraint, and mutual coexistence is going to fly through the window unless things change drastically in this country. So we have contestation, for example, over simple things like the interpretation of, is it Section 32 of the Police Act that was annulled by the Constitutional Court. It came back to Parliament, was reenacted and kicked out by the Constitutional Court. So we are still debating whether the role of the police is regulatory or it can be prohibitive or control. The laws have said, look, the duty of someone organizing a public function is to inform the police. The police is saying you must get permission. Now, after informing, then the Constitution throws back the duty of protecting life and property to the police. Okay, so the police will say, look, we are stopping you because we don't have capacity to, and then by this intolerance is not just between the security agencies and the opposition. You go within the opposition ranks themselves and see how people are eating themselves. Go inside the NRM circles. Now you guys are going for primaries. The man eateth man situation there is so terrible. So we are just a nation that has been consumed in this craziness.
But in our NRM primaries,
it's going to be worse.
The contributor of violence against police, which takes sides in different forms.
No, because you guys invite them into your arena.
Whichever way you look at it.
Isaac Kayonde wants to show that I have better connections than Dismas Nkunda.
Yeah, of course.
Nkunda brings SFC, Kayonde brings the land force of police and then stuff like that.
That's why I'm saying the security agents have a lot a lot to do with the violence that happens.
But you see, sometimes what I don't understand, and this is for you, Sabit, and is it actually the police that does this kind of violence? Is it the police?
Who else?
Now,
Are you
that's what I was saying. I was saying it would have been a good day to have Kituma Rusoke here. because some of these questions, you answer them with certainty, you put your neck in a rope. But also it's not strange for the joint security task force to work together in cases of public order. So at some point,
looking at the one, for example, during the 2022 elections, the one that were abandoning these guys, these young boys, if we are going to say, and in particular, Sabit, you are saying about the role of the police. My father was a policeman. The role of the police, which I was told in primary, is that to keep law and order.
Yes.
Stop.
Yes.
The rest of the things are, But now, Bobi Wine has visited a private person. He has had a private function. He's leaving Bulindo. He's moving towards Chira. And then, of course, he doesn't call the border borders. Even if he calls the border borders.
Have you seen the video?
Of the what?
Of that?
They passed me.
But my point is, the police was beating up no supporters, but they were all in red. How then do you tell me that this was that they were just bystanders who were coming?
If you have seen my brother Chagulanyi move, there is never a time, whether private, public function, he has a standard sort of his own noob security protocol commanded by the gentleman who ran away, Eddie Mutwe. So they wear red regalia. They conduct themselves in military format. And so he always has what they call his security detail around him. So if he comes to visit this month, there will be like a bunch of boys all swelling up and feeling badass and wearing red. But you see, now,
exactly.
Now, in security planning, I'm sure they know that is its modus operandi. So some of the confrontations are extremely unnecessary.
But because those guys, what is it that you have an insignia, you have a red beret, you are pumping yourself, Kanyama, that you are
even when Waka Wambwa.
So Jimmy, for me, this is what I think, that at the end of the day, yes, if anything happened to Chagulanyi, you would find that some of the repercussions would not be good, even for people who really do not support him. If chaos ensued here in Kampala, you would find that even innocent people would be affected. So I think this goes back to our leaders. Yes, they can be in opposition, but they are also stakeholders. They're also part of this country. So it's just a matter of them sitting down with the security forces or the different security organs and agree on how. Because you expect that agreement to happen. Why in this country? Because this is what I'm saying, Sabit. So, for example, if Chagulanyi was harmed by someone who is not government, someone who is an outsider, and then this blame is put on government. So Chagulanyi should also fear for his life, or even the people that are in opposition. Sit down with government, and then if Chagulanyi is to make any processions, then he should organize with police so that he's guarded and nothing happens to him.
Frank, to add on to what you're saying, there was a comment by the U.S. State Department spokesperson, and the person said that Washington is very concerned that violence against opposition voices means that the democratic space continues to shrink. So generally, when Chagulanyi is attacked, shot, whatever you call it, it means it represents what's happening to opposition in general. So
but that new colonialism. So should we be scared about what is happening in Washington or whatever they would want to happen here? There are domestic issues, for example, that should be first the priority of Ugandans to sort out their issues.
Domestic, but there's the international that controls that. If they have concerns about what's happening, it means a lot to all the aid and.
No, it means a lot to the people who worship the god called Washington and the Western powers.
I think this must.
You see, I don't agree.
You have a better understanding of this. When the state the State Department issues, their concern.
Jimmy, it is, because by the time, even when you get to the sanctions that people are given because of the various violations that happen in the country, it is that same thing. We sometimes dismiss them and say, those sanctions will not happen to me. I know, Sabit, don't smile because your boss is also in the same category. But the point is, it's the public relations of Uganda that is estimated into other arenas. I was called, let me tell you, because of the shooting of Bobi Wine, I was called by 3 different international media, but I declined because I didn't have enough facts. I was called by a TV station in Nigeria, I was called by a TV station in South Africa, and I was called by a TV station in Zambia. Can you give us a comment about the shooting? For them, it wasn't even a Chapeno. It was the shooting of the opposition leader.
So
you understand? It's
no, I'm not dismissing Jimmy's and your arguments. I am saying that the question of whether police shot and injured Bobi Wine is not even a question of Washington. There are certain practices, good practices, democratic practices that must be embedded in our political setup. Now, the problem with this group that Kanovesi sometimes says not so nice things about them is that the love and kiss us for Washington overweighs everything. So, for example, there was a time when some friends of mine...
Good language.
That's the best I can use, kiss us. It is a bit... So the point is this, that there were mistakes made by law enforcement, right? And therefore it's important that as a country we discuss the sanity in our politics through the lenses of Ugandans.
So
yes,
I think it'd be better to give a chance to the one who's covered Noop the most.
For an official comment.
Derek Wandera. Derek understands the inner workings of Noop. What happened to the president, Noop president? Just in summary, just so that we can go for him.
The Noop president had gone to visit one of his lawyers in Mukono. And on his way back, just as usual, the police intercepted their convoy.
Was it Mukono?
Bulindo. Isn't Bulindo Mukono?
No.
Should be.
Chira. Bulindo is in Chira, Wakiso.
Okay, yes, Wakiso. So, on their way back, yes, as usual, they intercepted their convoy that was coming back using that Bulindo road. But I think, again, there's always this altercation between police and some of Bobi Wine's guards who are in front of the car or behind or whatever, trying to clear traffic.
These are private guards, right?
Private guards, yes. So there's a lot of tear gas that is lobbied in that scenario, just like police normally does, and there's a lot of arrests. Beating, hitting some of the people, the supporters, yes, some of their bikes are trampled on and things like that. And these things have been in the media platforms and things like that.
Was it shot? Was it a tear gas canister?
Of course it was a tear gas canister, but it also depends on who is actually giving the story from. Actually planned for it.
Welcome back from the break. You're listening to 93.3 KFM Hotseat, the Friday panel. Jim Odok is sitting in for Old Man of the Clan, Andrew Mwenda. It's a big panel now, very big panel, very experienced people. Isaac Kayonde, Dismas Nkunda, Derek Wandera, Frank Mujimba, Joseph Sabiti. So, Derek, you're going to summarize on even the hospital issued a statement about what happened. There's still a lot of confusion. Even when it happened, people were not sure the president was shot. Which president? So you can just summarize what happened and
Jimmy, it's just people that want to be confused that are confused. It is crystal clear. There was nothing to argue or do anything about, because when everything was happening, it was being aired by the citizen journalists on all different social media platforms, and there would have never been any confusion of whether it was a tear gas canister or a bullet. And everyone saw in all circumstances and events unfolding, it was a tear gas canister. Now, the difference between you and me is that when you see such a video, you want to play it quite numerous times before you report. I had the audacity before I broke the story, called 3 people on Bobi Wine's team. I called Eddie Mutwe, I called David Selector, and I called Nubian Lee. All of them told me it's a tear gas canister because they were carrying him to hospital. They confirmed. I alerted Daily Monitor. It put up the tweet. I also put up a tweet on my. And it's always about journalism. Citizen journalists will see something and conclude there and then blow it out.
Whether tear gas canister or bullet, you are shot. So you are shot.
He sustained injuries in an altercation between police and his supporters.
But you see, Jimmy,
and for me, what I'm saying, what I'm saying is, it shouldn't happen.
I think
any country that shouldn't.
I think we've lost the principal discussion, and for me that's what bothered me.
I think it's the reporting.
No, not the reporting. When I want to give you from example of the trends online when that story broke. First, the president was shot. Again, which president and stuff like that. Then the details became more clear. Absolutely. Former president and all. So I am saying there was confusion. Which president? But Uganda has one, the president. That's one. When you said the president in the country. But I went again and checked but he's president. Agree or not agree, he's president. He's the president. Agreeing or not agreeing, that one you can. But I went and checked again. Do you know that I expected us a conversation online to be about the conduct of the police and the conduct of the opposition, how we can find a middle ground as a country. What I found trending was, what would Enanga have said? and I found it quite
Joseph, it is interesting because even with the full glare of what was happening on social media, the videos flying around, police said the man stumbled.
No, forget stumbling. I am saying the everyday citizen that's supposed to be discussing our democratic process and our democratic space and how we can coexist as a country are saying, no, Enanga would have lied better. I think Tuma didn't lie well. Enanga would have lied better.
And discussion about political violence has been going on. That
it has been dramatized now.
It could have been handled better. The police didn't.
No, that's the principal argument that we should be having. But I'm saying that the things that matter to Ugandans and some of us are probably two different things. Listen, the political madness has engulfed this country. We're going into an election, and there's need for sobriety on all players in this country. The police having the cardinal responsibility because constitutionally they're supposed to keep stability, law and order in this country. But you see, the police comes from the society. They are our sons, they are our brothers, and they are people like that. Then we have a completely disjointed political space where one side thinks they're extremely right, another one thinks they're further right. And then in the middle of this is the police, and we have a few months to the elections. For me, that's
not even in the middle. It's not.
Wait, depending on where you put your middle. I'm not saying the middle.
The police is one of those.
No, I'm saying constitutionally, the police should be.
Yes.
I think I'm speaking from the ideal perspective. And then here we are discussing what would Enanga have said. And then tomorrow campaigns come, and we can't even have the conversations that matter.
I want to know what
You see, the spokesperson of the police said, we shall investigate what happened and then come out.
But you see, we shall investigate. He stumbled. What are you saying?
Why would you say he's
what are you investigating? First investigate and give us a damn statement. That's what I think Isaac Awende was saying. That some of this
time, will they admit that the fault was with them? They didn't handle the situation well?
Jimmy, next time when things like this happen, we get Kituma Rusoke here. All right, to come and answer his question.
Jimmy, I actually think Joseph is trying to insinuate that the police first shoots before it aims.
No, but from a public relations perspective, perspective, I think that is what triggered off the what would Enanga have said. I'm saying when you say the guy stumbled, you've already, and then you are going to investigate. What are you investigating when he has stumbled? But also, Kituma could have reasoned that, look, when the canister was shot at him, he actually stumbled as he was running away. It goes back to who is defining it.
It's difficult.
No, it's a fact. After the canister was shot at him, didn't he stumble as he was running away?
All right, let's leave that and move on to the next. We're going to the House now to discuss. Honorable Lumu Richard was given leave to focus on a bill that he wants to bring. And this regards the election of the leader of opposition and the opposition's chief whip. What do you make? It's been like the main discussion now about that. Why now? Why is it happening now? Why are they bringing? But the man says he's been in parliament for only 3 years, and the opposition people are already targeting him, and he doesn't really mind. But he has the opposition at heart. They think all members, all opposition MPs are supposed to participate in electing the leader of opposition. And currently, the leader of opposition is appointed by the party that has the most number of MPs. So why should they move? Why should there be an amendment in the administration of parliament? Joseph Sabit, I think you have more.
He's a member of parliament almost.
Jimmy, two things. One, from the office that I work for is going to be at the center. If this bill comes to the House, or when it comes, then my boss will be in the chair. So I find it hard to make personal comments about that. But in principle, members of parliament, all of them have a right to bring a private member's bill. It can be a bill wanting to make Dismas Nkunda shorter or taller, as long as it is within the frameworks of the constitution. it is within the rights. But also, you need to know the trappings of power that come with the office of the leader of opposition. Constitutionally, you are recognized at the level of a cabinet minister. You don't stay in Kampala Jam. You have a lead car, a V8 in the middle, and a backup car, and about 26 policemen with guns pointing in the sky behind you.
It seems you love that.
So what's wrong with that?
No, I'm saying why people. I'm explaining the interest.
Yes.
Why every opposition person thinks. Why every opposition MP actually, given a chance, would want to be there.
But why
the traction
it now?
No, first listen. The tractions of power. The tractions of power. If you're running a 4 billion a year budget, there are ministries that don't get that money, and part of that budget includes the money for entertainment, for travel abroad, for beddings, for domestic work. Yes, 22 million per annum. Yes, for beddings. Now, but Jimmy, the conversation is that's a fact. 22 million annually for beddings for the LOPS office.
Yeah.
And 100 million for entertainment.
Listen to the man who works
for entertainment.
Yes, dancing around in the evening and stuff like that. 100 million. But here's the point. Seriously, this conversation has not started with Lumu. The first person to attempt to bring a law like that was the Honorable Medad Segona. And usually these conversations happen when there's contestation of power within the opposition. When the FDC and DP, before the cohabitation fell out, the Honorable Segona actually drafted a bill. It was defeated on the floor of Parliament, and that bill was wanted to make the same changes at around that time. So every time these chaps disagree, but also yesterday I was challenging Derek, I think earlier on another platform, that I want you to pick your phone. He's still the active journalist, and call 95% of the opposition MPs. And listen to them without quoting them. They actually want to have a say on these things. There are two things.
They say, like, meaning what?
They want to participate, that this man should be our leader. Because one, how you relate to the opposition depends on the quality of the leader in the office. The Honorable...
Has this something to do with the Senyonyi?
Absolutely.
Yes, as a person.
Absolutely.
Maybe not.
We also know where
As an individual.
Yeah,
we had a discussion.
I'm now being a journalist.
Yes.
Does this thing has to do anything with Senyonyi? Because we never had the same thing when we had Mpuga.
So when Segona brought it to Senyonyi, was even nowhere. There was no hope that he would be in a leader of opposition.
But
so
him,
I'm saying, when Segona brought it, Derek did not know where it was coming from. Our politics is structured in a way that anything that comes, people must milk it and make it about themselves and make themselves so important that they would warrant a legislation. Look, there's contestation in the opposition. People are saying there's a reason why you're not called leader of NUP in parliament. You're called the leader of the opposition. When Ikiza was in that chair, for example, before, and I covered parliament around that time, it was more consultative, including the appointment process.
Joseph,
So,
you have a lot to say.
Yes.
Let's go for a break and you...
yes, transition of
the issue was he has given
back from the break. This is the last segment of the show. We're discussing major events of the week with a prominent panel here. Dismas, Derek, Mujimba, Joseph, and Isaac Kayonde. So we are now summarizing on the bill that Honorable Richard Lumu is supposed to bring on so that the leader of opposition is elected by all the members of opposition and the opposition. What do you think? In principle, if the leading opposition party has the most number of MPs, do you think they would have a different person that the principal would want?
Well, technically, I think, this bill is redundant in the sense that it is redundant in the sense of election, because if the leading opposition is the one that represents the candidate, and then the opposition people are the ones that elect.
It depends on whether it's a secret ballot.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. My point I'm saying, we are now looking at
candidate might win.
We are now looking at an ideal situation.
Yes.
It is redundant in that sense that, look, whoever the leader of the party chooses and says, you go and vote this one, once they coalesce as a caucus, that's the person who will become. Now, as regards why this bill now, of course, it's obviously targeted at Senyonyi, but for me, it's a thing of it has zero impact in terms of that position, and the only reason you would be fronting it right now is to remove Senyonyi, who has proven to be difficult in many ways, right? So, if that is the intention, I would never support it.
You see, Isaac, right? Difficult to who?
Okay, well, to the powers that be. Who?
So, are you saying government is the one pushing this?
There's no question about it, because Lumu has fallen out with NUP. That's very clear.
It's Democratic Party.
Is his Democratic Party? Yeah, but he had moved to MK. He was part of
No.
It was Lumu. Lumu has appeared, my friend. Lumu has appeared.
This man talking.
Lumu has appeared.
No. Let's speak facts. The two NRM MPs who have appeared at MK are one, Dr. Kagabo from Luengo, and the gentleman for...
That is NUP. Is not NRM.
No, I'm saying the NUP MPs who have... the opposition MPs. Not Mukono, somewhere around Lugazi municipality.
And I'm telling you, you will go. Now, me, I'm telling you, Lumu, his alignment is very clear.
But this man is...
So, I'll tell you, his alignment is quite clear. And if for avoidance of doubt, DP is in a working relationship with NRM.
Their partners now.
Moving on slowly. This thing is a fact that, look, this bill is targeted for Senyonyi. It was, and this is politics, right? You don't do the morals, you don't smear. I mean, it's not a moral contest here, right? They want Senyonyi out, they'll do what they want to get him out. He's also not helping the situation by him being very extreme in the sense that reach out, make consultation. You are the leader of the opposition. I mean, you can coalesce some people.
Joel might be blamed, but they say that it's really the party president who should reach out to consult other, before making that. So the problem might not really.
It's only impact I see for me is the winner take it all politics, where the party outside becomes irrelevant to the ongoings of the country. So for me, this one naming of the leader of opposition has been very instrumental in helping the political party that loses to be relevant. That
to align parliament
to what they do.
The deputy spokesperson of NUP said that this is not a coalition. If the other parties do not like, they should just go away and make an alliance with the NRM. For them, they'll go the way they want. So
I think it's a case
What time of the day did he make that statement? And from where? Very important.
I know my brother, Wais from Fumbiro. I know him very well. He will give you what you expect from him. But I think for a person, for something, looking at this bill, like we've said, without hesitation, it's a redundant bill. I do agree with Isaac, and we also know the undertones from where it's coming because of first the timing, where MPs are going to Gulu, especially opposition MPs, and they are going there in protest. How can you be dragging us around like your kids? So they go there and they be like, hey, why don't we even bring up this motion? So it's venting. It's a venting motion.
What about when Medad brought it?
When you look
what about when Segona brought it?
When you look at all the proposals to reduce the number of signatures for essential motion, the de facto first runners up to become the deputy speaker, to be from a preserve of the opposition and stuff like that. All those are very, very, very redundant things. And for me, like they were talking about, they were chasing away Manyanga from Gulu. And they accepted this Manyanga to be debated in.
Jimmy, I wanted to ask Derek a question.
No. Why are you talking? You already talked.
Can I ask a question? Why are you fearing a question? Why are you fearing? I wanted to ask Derek, when the Honorable Medad Segona brought it, was there Gulu sitting?
Let me tell you something. In every situation, things happen for a reason. There was a reason as to why Medad Segona brought up that motion. And for me, I know Medad so well. He's a very astute lawyer. Just like one would say Lumu is.
Not saying he is.
I have said one would say
you cannot question his competence in law.
And when you are in such a situation, you want to milk every opportunity that comes your way. So this is an opportunity that Lumu sees that this is a law. When you look at the content of the law, of the propositions there, I mean, they don't add up. They are jumbled and they don't even make sense because he's not even.
So let me help you.
No, why are you?
Because I want to help him. When laws come, when laws come, you bring your draft. That draft is subjected to the Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee. Some proposals are picked, others are dropped. By the time it goes to the House, it's not the same draft. That's what the information I wanted to give.
You think that Parliament will make any good law?
This is what I think. I think Wandera, you shouldn't be worried because this is a private member's bill. It is going to come to Parliament and people will vote on it. So I really don't think it should give you hard time. But this is the thing. If we are seated here and let's say Joseph Sabit is our head and maybe for some reason he is misleading us, because even if Chagulanyi appoints Senyonyi to come and lead these people, as long as Chagulanyi does not lead these people very well, maybe they feel that certain things are not going right with them. What is wrong with them? What is wrong with them? And say,
don't they carry their own heads? Don't they carry their own heads? Don't they carry their own heads? Do they leave their heads at home?
This will have the last one.
Guys, they have to wind up because news is coming up.
Up next is the news. Juliet Naluoga is up next with the news.